If you follow FMS models, you know that they've given us a really cool selection of small scale rigs with licensed bodies and chassis that perform, and they've been working on their 10 scale lineup too. They gave us the FCX10. This thing was loaded up with some really cool features like locking diffs, 2-speed transmission, selectable drive mode, and the body looks really good too. Then they released this, the licensed Toyota Land Cruiser LC80. The body on this I think is spectacular. I love the interior on it, all the scale features on the outside. But then when we took a look at the FCX10 chassis, it was missing a lot of the cool features that we saw in the Blazer, all that drivetrain stuff. And it left some people with questions on why didn't they give us that stuff? And that's because they were working on this, the FCX10P, which stands for Pro, and this comes with a brushless system and all those cool drivetrain features, plus a little bit more. Let's get this thing out of the box and take a closer look at the body to start. Still love that FMS selected the Land Cruiser as a body shelf for the FCX10 platform. Like the previous version, this thing is loaded up with scale details. I like the lines on this. I think they did a pretty good job considering they have to fit this body shelf to a certain platform. There's gonna have to be a little bit of change involved to get the proportions as close as they can for the dimensions. But check this out, instead of the gunmetal, we now have this really deep blue, like the lower section is silver, so it gives us that two-tone look. And although there's a body trim line in decals here, they also give metal etch parts in the kit so you get to adhere those to the body, but you still get the molded grille with the clear lenses, LED lights, snorkel, mirrors, windshield wipers, roof rack, rear bumper, and even a ladder. And then the interior, it's detailed and just really sets this rig apart from others. And the final body feature that I like is the clip system that they have for it. It's actually like a spin clip, and you turn these little knobs on the bottom and it just pops the body right up. Check that out. And there's the magnet system that allows the electricity to pass through it to operate the LED lights. Now let's take a quick look at the chassis. This is what we've seen before in the previous version. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link up above to the FCX10 LC80 video. But it's got steel ladder frame chassis and inner fender liners, the battery mounts in the center. I like that it's got floor pans on the side, even the side steps that the body kind of keys into. It's a little tight fitting there and sometimes it pops out, but nonetheless it's still there. On the bottom here, it's got a smooth center skid, and let's get into the suspension. So it still has the aluminum shocks on it with the dual rate springs, metal suspension links, 4-link in the front and 4-link in the rear. Typically with a scale rig, we see like 3-link with a panhard bar in the front, but it's got the 4-link set up. Now let's get into some of those changes with the driveline. So on the other LC80, we basically just had a stripped down transmission, stripped down axles, but with this version, the Pro version, you get the 2-speed in there, you get the shiftable drive modes, so you could have rear-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or front-wheel drive, and then it has the locking differentials, which a lot of people apparently wanted. I don't use them that often when I'm out crawling, but for some people, that's a definite must-have feature. So you could see that the cables run down from these small servos located on the top of the chassis to the front and rear axles, which are portal axles, all metal gears throughout the driveline on this, seal ball bearings. And what's nice about portal axles, it gives you the ground clearance, reduces that torque twist, but they've made a change here. So they now have a guard for the shift mechanism on it, and it looks like it's two-tone. So it's black anodized, and I can see some brass there. So I'm guessing that these are weighted, which is pretty cool, but it does add a little bit more of a edge for things to catch on when you're crawling over stuff. And the cool part about portal axles is you get the clearance, but now it's got this additional plate here that could catch on things. Just wanted to point that out. The other big change to this is the brushless system instead of the brushed like we saw on the other LC80. This has a 1500 kV outrunner motor on it, and according to all their marketing, it is waterproof. And after reading the website though, the rest of the rig is splash proof. So you might want to watch how far you drive this thing into water. It sounds like the motor could take it. I'm not sure if the receiver can or the speed controller itself. Again, when they say splash proof, raises a little flag for me. But anyway, outrunner motor, they've got a 2 to 3S compatible speed controller fitted with an XT60 plug. And then it's got the FlySky radio system. So this is a multi-channel receiver sitting here in the battery tray. And that links up with the 2.4 gigahertz radio system that's included. Let me show you everything else that's inside the box. And here's a radio system that comes with it. Actually really comfortable, like the foam steering wheel on it. And it's got a ton of switches to operate the different functions, a couple trim knobs up top to straighten everything out, but like the radio system. It also comes with this optional bumper that I threw on. Love the look of this. Didn't throw it on the first one, but I like it on this version. And it also comes with some decals and some basic tools inside the box. So that's the rundown on the new FCX10 Pro. I'm going to drop in this Power Hobby 3S battery pack, take it to the trail, and show you how some of these features work. Check out the scene today, RC drivers. This is one of my favorite crawl spots, and we got a lot of the rock covered in ice. So my options are limited today. I'm gonna make the best of it. It's 30 degrees out right now. Got my gloves on, and I'm just making the best of it. This thing has been a blast to drive so far. Got about a half-hour run time in on it, getting used to the controls and everything again. It's a really capable rig. So again, one of the cool features of this rig is all the driveline functionality that it has. The only downside to it is memorizing all the different buttons on the radio system to operate that stuff. So right now I'm in low gear, and you actually use channel 4 to switch between high and low. So let me give you a full throttle low pass. There we go. I'm gonna switch it out to high next. So we'll just hit that channel 4 button, and that thing motors now. But the big deal with this one is its low speed crawl thanks to the new brushless system in here. And look at that low speed crawl. That's looking really good. Let's see if it maintains a consistent forward motion up the hill here. Yeah, perfect. I've got the diffs locked. It's in low gear right now. That looks butter. Super smooth scale look to it. Love it. It maintains a nice smooth descent as well. Look at that. I was messing with it before on another rock. I was so impressed with how slow this thing goes, how consistent it is. Look at that. Okay, now I want to watch the suspension work through the rocks here. It's pretty smooth. Just got to give it a nice slow crawl. I got my diffs open. There's 3 different functions with the diffs. You have the front open, rear open, or have it fully locked, fully open. So you got to cycle through that. But look how smooth that is. Looks so good. I just want to check to see if the dual rate's all the way up on the steering. Oh, I turned it all the way off. Turn it all the way up now. Didn't check the axle lock though. Oh, we got more steering now, so yeah. You could turn it up a little bit more. You just want to see if those axles bind. Actually, let's do that. Let's give it a check. Doesn't really seem like it's bottoming out there. So yeah, we got a little bit of extra room in the dual rate there. Let's see this approach angle here. Now we're catching on this bumper. Back it out a little bit, give it a little tire first. There we go. Those axles, they've got some clearance to them. It's come in handy a number of times so far. Actually, now that I've cranked up the steering, it's catching on the body here and there. A little rear bumper catch. Punch it out. Then go to second gear, get some wheel speed in. A little bounce. There we go. That was awesome. The only thing I noticed so far is you really just have to watch your side hilling. We still got a lot of body weight up high there. So if you get this thing on too far of an angle, it's going to want to tip over. Giving it a good push right now. Oh yeah. You should see that angle. So the differential lock is operated by the two buttons up top, channel 7, channel 8. And I think I just unlocked them. You go down to low gear again. Yeah, so you can see the nice tight turns that it does now. And then you can lock the front independently. You can lock the rear, obviously. So I like the range that you got. Again, it's just remembering to hit the buttons properly. It's a little bit of a learning curve.
So the last thing I wanted to show you is the LED lights, and this truck has a lot of them, and you can control it with the transmitter. Unlike some other models out there, when you plug in your truck, the lights are on, but here you just use channel 5, you swing the switch over, and all the LED lights come on, which is really cool. And it does have taillights that come on in reverse, which is odd. So it's not the clear lens that turns on, it's the red lens down here, and that's not a reversing light. So what I actually did is I pulled it out of the port for reverse and just put it into an empty port, so they're constantly on. Yes, they're a little bright, but at least it just doesn't come on in reverse. Didn't make sense to me. Now the other thing is the turn signals. So we've got turn signals, which is great front and rear, but they don't turn off. So if I turn off the lights, we still have the turn signals. Something we've been living with, something we've been complaining about, and yeah, if it really bothers you, some people just unplug it. So anyway, time to get to the price on this, $460. And for that price, I think it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's really well equipped. Just looking at some of the other trucks out there, you know, you've got like Red Cat down in the $400 range, $399, and then, you know, on your higher end, you've got like Traxxas and Axial around the $500 mark. And this truck comes with a lot of stuff. So obviously, you've got a licensed body, you've got a ton of LED lights, a lot of accessories on the outside, full interior. You've got all those drivetrain features, you know, the 2-speed, the locking differentials. I did see that they're gonna have a dig option, so if that's something you're into, it will be available for this. I mean, it's got metal shocks, metal links, metal frame, and most importantly, it now has that brushless system that is ultra smooth. So it's a really great looking scale crawler that performs really well. I like these tires, they've got a lot of traction. It's just a great overall package that FMS has put together. If you're into it, I'll have links in the video description below.